Hi, welcome back to the Truth Doctor Show. My name is Dr. Courtney Tracy. I'm known as the Truth Doctor. And on the show, I talk about the world through a mental health lens, using pop culture and the media as my medium. Today, I'm reacting to episode 8 of season 1 of Arcane. Let's get to it.
What should we do with her?
She won't make trouble for us.
Who is that?
Strip her of her possessions and send her to the far colonies.
Only one must die. Let her live and you may need to kill thousands.
We can show the people we are merciful.
A wolf has no mercy.
When we are faced with the difficulty of having qualities, characteristics, and aspects of ourselves that are different from our environment, it can be really overwhelming. And the more pressure that you receive to gain other characteristics than the ones that you have can start to really make you decide to be somebody or let go of values that you wouldn't necessarily let go of if you didn't have so much pressure. So we can see here that Madurda really wanted to show that the council and that people higher up in society could have mercy, could understand, could look at this person who was crying, knowing that they may be about to die, with compassion. And getting this type of pressure from our parents can be sometimes one of the most difficult places to get this pressure from. Okay, I still can't get over that Marcus died in the last episode. Like, why did they have to do that? And ending with him saying what he said about his daughter. So heartbreaking.
Jinx.
Okay.
It's gone. What?
Feels like there was probably so many things going on in Vi's mind at that time when she was watching Silco pick up Jinx and take her away. I'm really curious your thoughts of what you think was going through Vi's head at this point when you were watching the series. For me, I feel like the reason why she didn't run after her right away was because she was afraid. There was a part of her that knew that it would be better to stand still or stand down than to go and get herself into another fight where loss of life had already occurred. She was still mad. She's still angry. She's mad at Silco for pushing forth Powder to turn into Jinx. Of course, maybe she would have gone down that path on her own because she was severely traumatized, and human beings need to find escape. That's just what the brain does from our trauma and our pain until we learn to do otherwise. But at the same time, it makes sense for her to have resentment because in a way, to Vi, Silco took her sister away. Oh, Marcus again. God. With Madurda in this situation, you can see in her facial expression that she's likely flashing back to the scenario with her mother where she first had to decide to be a wolf or a fox and was told that she needed to learn to not be merciful. And now she's looking around and seeing death again. And I'm curious what that squint that she just made is going to mean for the later episodes.
Who lives here? Another counselor friend of yours?
Caitlyn!
The same facial expression. Oh, shit.
And you found a stray. This is Vi. She's from the Undercity.
I like the way Caitlyn just humanized Vi. You found a stray. No, she has a name and this is where she's from.
You know what else reflects on the council? It's citizens living on the streets, being poisoned, having to choose between a kingpin who wants to exploit them and a government that doesn't give a shit.
Yes. Preach.
I'll schedule an audience.
Thank you.
Interesting. I like how Caitlyn's mom paused for a second and then made a more rational, more logical, more connective decision with Caitlyn. It seems like she took a second to think, what is it that I want? And am I functioning off of my fear or my love? It's good that she paused and she thought, you know, maybe there's a better choice that I can make that gives my daughter the type of autonomy that she's asking for.
Her injuries are severe. Are you prepared to lose her? Jinx. Please understand this is for your own sanity.
Ooh.
I too once had a daughter.
Was that his daughter? Oh my God. Y'all, I don't know. Is it coming together? That makes so much sense if that's what happened. Oh man.
Mel, Elora, you didn't have to come out to meet me.
What are you doing here, Mother?
Your brother's gone.
Oh.
Piltover isn't like Noxus. War isn't our first and every recourse. I sponsored Hextech to protect the city, not burn it to the ground.
I'm off to sample the local cuisine.
Well, that's a very interesting relationship. When you tell, and I feel like this is pretty obvious, but when you tell somebody that they have lost somebody that they love, you need to spend more time than just saying it in 1 second and then moving on and saying, by the way, here's all the things that you're doing wrong. You can tell that there is a very difficult relationship between them two, because a parent should give space when they're telling their child that another one of their children have passed away. To go from your brother died to I'm going to go sleep with this man in the matter of 1 minute is really not okay.
What happened to her? It's not your fault.
I pretended to chase my own monsters away. Then a real monster showed up. And I just ran away.
We can see Vi is feeling so much guilt from leaving Powder not once, but twice now. What's important is that in both of these moments, Vi had to choose what was best for herself and even what she thought in the moment was best for Powder, like taking a moment to cool off in episode 3. Sometimes we have to step away from the people we love in order to make sure that we are okay ourselves. Oh.
I'm so sorry, Powder. Your sister is Jinx. It will only get worse.
Jeez. Oh my God.
What have you done? I saved her life.
God, you know, it really just seems like the minute that somebody softens throughout this whole series so far, when somebody used to be somebody who was up for the battle, that wanted power, that was in for the fight, and then they became a little sensitive, showed some emotion or gained a relationship with somebody and started to care or had the potential to care, that they're just shot down. And we see this time and time again. We saw it with Midorta and her mom too. What do you all think about that?
It seems I'm unwelcome. What is it?
Makes sense.
We're having the exact same day.
I mean, people on different sides of the spectrum or different sides of the line or the Undercity and Piltover can get along. They're way more similar than they think they are. And if they take the emotions away and the fear that they're not going to survive because of one another, it's easier to get along.
We're no strangers to failure. What makes this the city of progress is that we keep trying until we get it right. So thank you for your advice, Mrs. Midorta. But I have a city to run.
Yeah, see, like that? No, so inappropriate.
I want you to succeed here, Jayce, to grace the world with Hextech. But if you don't accept certain realities, I fear you'll end up like General Parlek.
She's functioning off of her past. So she's functioning off of, this is my reality and this is what I use to get through my reality. And in my life, my reality has never changed. That's her perspective. And we all do that as human beings. We take our perspective and the things that we've experienced, and then we use those things to tell other people basically how to live their lives, because we're essentially trying to help them. But what we are doing is helping them only based off of the information that we have, or that we've interpreted, that we've gained outside of our experiences. We need to be careful with this. What's great is that Jayce held his line in this conversation and said, like, thanks for the information. And I think Miss Midorta could tell that he wasn't absorbing it, especially because of what he said. And so then to a degree, she threatened him, not that she would take his life, but that the situation could get his life taken. And now she put him back in survival mode again.
We need to act before anyone else gets killed.
Counselors, this is Vi. She was born in the Undercity. Even though we failed her in countless ways, she risked everything to show me what life is really like down there.
What about these? Do you know who made them?
No. Well,
Her name is Jinx.
They're still cleaning the blood off the bridge. When do we say enough is enough?
Jayce, you don't know war. I do.
This is insane. Did you learn nothing? You can't talk to him. He hates you, everything you stand for. He will never back down. This is how things are, how they've always been. I was so stupid to think it could change.
What about us?
Oil and water.
No.
Wasn't meant to be.
We can feel like we are similar to someone or are appropriate for a situation or something's safe or something's not. And we pick a dichotomy, we pick a binary for this one thing. And then the moment the smallest thing changes or something activates our big emotions, then we bring it straight to the other side. We're moving more towards the middle, but then something goes wrong and we put them right back into that binary, oil and water. The thing is, human beings are not oil and water. And of course, there's different types of species inside this animation series, but at the same time, the premise is that there's supposed to be a difference between Zon or the Undercity and Piltover, but there's not. And they appear to be a lot more alike than different, which we can see through all the past episodes. Keep in mind where you twist your perspective or your perception of someone, something, or somewhere when a small something changes, and do you take them from the middle and one side all the way straight to the other side? Our mind really likes to place people in boxes and also really likes to protect ourselves. So sometimes we'll pull away and move back to the binary when we're too emotional. What's gonna happen?
Everything you do inspires me.
Oh, that's cute. And that's traumatizing. Oh no. Oh, there she is.
I want to make Silco pay.
I want in.
There is no in. You heard the council.
Fuck the council. You said you were tired of doing nothing.
Oh, they're back.
So people notice you when you raise your hand in the boardroom? Take out his manufacturing facilities. Hit him hard and fast before he can react.
It's a boy? It's a little boy? Oh my God, they look really scary. I never would have thought that it would end up being Jayce and Vi teaming up right now to get Silco. Such an angry Jayce face. The boy. Ugh. They're all little boys, and little girls, little humans. Oh, 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 oh. This is part of what is so difficult when it comes to war, when it comes to even like two parents fighting with each other when they have children, innocent lives. We all get so affected. And obviously, we have to think about the course of progression, right? Like, how did all of those young human beings or young people end up working in this factory for Shimmer, and then mixing them with these Shimmer, I don't know, like monsters, I guess, these people that have been so infected they've become something different. But it makes sense if they're attacking you to attack back, but then to see all of these people who are probably just trying to make enough money to support their family, or maybe they're just in so much pain that it's led them down this path of working for a factory like this. And now all of their lives were at risk. And it plays a lot into what the council was actually saying that they wanted. They wanted to do things, they wanted to negotiate, they wanted to do things more safe, which is difficult since they were leaving so much unsafety down in the Undercity to begin with. And this is just where it gets so complicated. It's really hard to find compromise when we're wrapped up in these survival emotions. And there's been such a long history of divide. I actually can't believe that the next episode is the last episode and that Jinx was just in Caitlyn's bathroom. There is so much to wrap up in the final episode of season 1. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And thank you all so much for the suggestions of what to react to next. And I want to get input from you all. We've been starting to make shorts, as you probably noticed. That's in relation to the long form content that we make. But we have a question for you. What type of short form content do you want to see as it relates to my long form videos? Would you rather see me breaking down the topics that I put in my long form videos in more detail? Or would you rather see me break down topics that don't make it to the final cut of the long form video? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. Can't wait for the final episode. And as always, I'm so glad that each and every one of you watching this exist.